What's going guys, Helios here, back with another Borderlands 3 guide. In this video I'm gonna show you ultimate Phasezerker Amara build, so without any further ado, let's jump into the video.
Hear the sound of the bells when the Lord gone, and the boys unleash hell when the war's on. Bloodthirsty when the dogs put their paws on. You gon' tell the medic go a little bit of blows on. Put them on the battlefields where they dead, and ignorant niggas just tryna miss what I said, Command this bitch and put a purse on them. Get them wild niggas throwing red dots on them. I'm the general, I can be worth something. My soldiers is ready to put a black house on them. Bring them to the wake, break them in a requiem and throw them in the pit and throw a little bit of dirt on them. Throw a little dirt on them. Trigger fingers in the air, put a little work on them. Work on them, put a little work on them. Trigger finger in the air, put a little dirt on them. Put a little dirt on them.
In this video I will show you the best possible build for Amara, and I will explain some common mistakes that people make. I'm gonna be covering when ties that bind and stillness of mind combo isn't good, and how you can improve your overall gameplay while playing as Amara. I will try to explain every aspect of Phasezerker Amara as good as I can, so hope you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and click the subscribe button below. Let's begin our guide, and first of all let's jump into the skill tree. Alright, so as you saw, I left some abilities that usually Amara players maxing out. In the few seconds I'm gonna explain you common mistakes that people make in Amara's skill tree, but first I have to say that right now I have over 100 hours of playing as Amara, and I have tried many builds, and with the help of you guys I figured out some mistakes that really a lot of people make. First mistake. There is no reason to max out the ability called Remnant. How many of you guys have done that, and what's actually a Remnant skill? When Amara kills an enemy with a gun or action skill, she creates a homing projectile that seeks out a new enemy dealing her action skill element, and the overkill damage is added to the projectile's damage. It's really important to understand that Remnant ability deals two types of damage: basic, that you can increase by maxing out the ability, and the overkill damage. What does it mean is that adding more than 1 point to that ability is completely useless. Look, let's max out the Remnant ability. As you see, we increased basic damage from 651 to 1952, only 1.3k more damage. And now imagine a situation that you one-shot the enemy that has, let's say, 50k health, and you deal for him with that one-shot 150k damage. That additional overkill 100k damage is added to your projectile's damage. Now I think it's clear, right? So you don't need extra points to the Remnant ability, because all you need is an overkill damage. Trust me, that's enough. Second mistake. Guys, never add points to the Late Bear ability if you play with Ties That Bind and Stillness of Mind combo. Late Bear increase damage from all sources for a few seconds, but only after being damaged by Amara's action skill. Let's take a look. I use an action skill and boom, no damage. They are at full HP, so Late Bear didn't activate. I saw many guides on YouTube when people maxing out this ability while playing with action skill combo I mentioned before, and there is no reason to do that because you waste 3 points. It's much better to add these points to the ability called From Rest that increase fire rate and charge speed. But don't hesitate to max out Late Bear when you play with Facecast action skill or Feast over Matter. There is also the ability called Do Harm, which increases action skill damage, but it's the same situation. Don't put points into that ability when you play with action skill that doesn't deal damage. Keep that in mind. The third common mistake is that some people put point into Ascendant ability while using a Stillness of Mind. You don't need enemies to be phase locked for an extra 0.75 seconds, because with build I'm covering in this video you're gonna kill every enemy faster than you think, trust me. Let's talk now about some important abilities in my build. Skills that I maxed out are Anima, that increase status effect damage, status effect duration, and action skill status effect damage, and Tempest skill that increase elemental damage and shock damage. My favorite skill is called Personal Space. Amara's weapon shots deal bonus damage based on the distance to her target, so the closer your target is, the greater the bonus. It works just lovely with any shotgun, especially Hellwalker, but it's also good with other types of weapons such as assault rifles. I maxed out the ability called Violent Tapestry because it increases status effect chance for every stack consumed after activating Amara's action skill, and you can gain rest stacks while applying a status effect to the enemies. Awakening is another important skill because it increases rush stack effectiveness. Threat is a skill that increases basic gun damage, and this effect is increased after Amara uses her action skill. So as you see, it's really important with that build to use an action skill as many times as you can. You can lower the cooldown with the help of Phasezerker class mod, Restless ability or Relic. Your job is to look for that additional bonus while farming legendary items. Personally, I recommend you to play with an avatar skill that lets us use an action skill while it's cooling down. Let's talk now about the items. Then I will explain why Phasezerker build is the best possible option for Amara. Personally, I love this anointed shield called Tortoise Recharger. It instantly begins recharging when broken, it gives you additional 40% shield capacity, and on action skill end, 30% of all damage taken is returned to the attacker for a short time. Since many players hate that sometimes on Mayhem 3 enemies have 30% chance to reflect the damage, now with that shield you can show them how it feels. Right now I equipped a Primeval Meditative Phasezerker that has quite bad additional bonuses, but this 31% assault rifle damage is something that I needed so bad for my Roman Skull. Alright, so now it's time to talk why Phasezerker class mod is that powerful. It's really simple, just let's read a description together. On action skill used, Amara gains her max rush stack count. Amara gains 3% weapon damage and what's the most important, 10% action skill cooldown rate based on the number of rush stacks. Look how funny that is. Really simple tip. You can actually spam your face grasp to increase rush stacks to the max count. What is that? Trust me guys, it's really powerful class mod that every Amara player needs. So I have dropped some Phasezerker class mods, still trying to find something better because these bonuses aren't that good obviously, but maybe someday I will find something much better. Anyway, let's move to the relic. I use Elemental Projector Splatter Gun that increases elemental damage by 90%. Gearbox nerfed it actually, because before it was 180%, what a shame. Let's take a look at these additional bonuses. That's what I was talking about before. Besides incendiary bonus damage and bonus movement speed, it gives me plus 21% action skill cooldown rate, which is really important. The weapons aren't that important, but I'm gonna show you my favorite 4 main guns I use. First of them is Anointed Rowan Skull, second is Crossroad. I have 3 Crossroads actually in my inventory. I still try to farm a shock version, but that green motherfucker doesn't want to cooperate, but don't worry, he won't win with me. The third weapon from my inventory is Anointed Hellwalker, which is really great with that build as I said before, and the last but not least is Nighthawking, which is along with Crossroad the best SMG in that game. So I hope you enjoyed this build guys. If you did, click that subscribe button below and don't forget to leave a like. Also, don't hesitate to comment below what do you think about the build. That's all for today, see you in another Borderlands 3 video.